With the Miami Heat losing the first round pretty terribly to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who lost in the second round pretty terribly, it's pretty clear that they need a reset, and today we're going to be talking about that. But before I get into everything, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe like I always say. It helps me out so much. And yeah, let's get right into it, man. We're going to go quick intro here. So Kevin Durant's been a name of topic for the last, probably since the trade deadline, so 3 to 4 months actually. And, I feel like as of recent, he's kind of been overshined by the Giannis trade speculations because obviously Giannis is a better player right now and he's way younger. But I feel like Kevin Durant could still be a massive, difference maker to an NBA organization. And I feel like, the trade talks around Kevin Durant are not getting as much, hype as they should. And today we're going to be throwing out the Miami Heat. And I think I made a video about them in the past. But today I'm just going to go deeper into it because I found a little bit more evidence that I feel like I should talk about. And also I just feel like I kind of like the fit here with Kevin Durant going there. And I want to start off with a tweet from about a week ago. I know it says 2 days ago, but I took a screenshot, about 4 or 5 days ago. So it's been a week since this tweet came out, but it's from NBA Central saying the Miami Heat are expected to show interest in Kevin Durant per the Stein line. And the full quote goes, the Heat are frequently forecasted as a team along with Minnesota expected to show trade interest this offseason in Phoenix's Kevin Durant. And then it kind of goes on saying how the clues Pat Riley has dropped about his team building approach in the wake of a 37-45 campaign and a painful first-round playoff sweep inflicted by Cleveland, and then it will be of prime interest. So this whole quote is basically saying how Kevin Durant is a very high interest towards the Miami Heat and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the reason we're not going too deep into the Minnesota Timberwolves today is because, they're still competing for an NBA championship. They're a title contender right now. And, for all I know, in a month, they could be NBA champions. So I feel like right now they shouldn't be looking towards upgrades. And I don't think they should be even talked about in upgrades because, they're such a good team right now. But, let's talk about the Miami Heat. That's what this video is about. And there's going to be a video that I'm going to show later down in the line in this video. And it's basically of Pat Riley dropping kind of clues like this tweet says. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But before we do that, let's talk about, Miami Heat and Kevin Durant, like the fit between those two. Because, Miami's kind of always had a very good superstar, if you think about it, for the last decade or so. They had LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. It's a superstar small forward. And, that's kind of what Kevin Durant does. And for some reason, the Heat culture really builds off a good small forward. I don't know, man. Even Josh Richardson, I know, I'm overhyping him right now, but when he was on the Heat, he was a bucket. He was actually really good. Same with Justice Winslow. When he was on the Heat, he was a bucket. I know these are random role player pulls, but I just kind of want to make it a point how the Heat are really good around a good small forward. And right now, this last season, they weren't really good, but the Heat culture is a real thing now that I think about it. As a Warriors fan, Jimmy Butler was phenomenal. People were calling him top 10 in the league, and, it was justifiable because he was going off. And then, obviously, this last season, the Warriors, he wasn't bad or anything, but he wasn't that same player. Obviously, he had some injury issues. I'm going to give him some slack there, but he definitely wasn't that same player leading them to the NBA Finals. Obviously, he's older, too. There's some, factors when it comes to that, but for some reason, just him being in that Heat system as the main small forward superstar of that team, it just worked out so nicely. And maybe, just maybe, if Kevin Durant gets put in a situation like that, he could do something similar. But now I'm going to show you the interview from Pat Riley from about a week ago as well. It's just something interesting to know as he kind of just dropped some hints that they're not going to run it back next year and that they're basically going to make some big changes. So I'm going to play the video, then we're going to talk about it after.
IB, run it back. We're not going to do that. Or we're going to try to stay away from that. I'm sorry, Ribbit? That's what I say every night to Chris when we watch that commercial. It is so cute. But anyway, we probably won't run it back, but it doesn't mean that, players aren't just going to show up. You have to make deals. You have to look at the board. You got to try to do something that's going to benefit with your team and your two key guys, if they're your key guys, and I think they are. Plus, a lot of other players. So I think we're probably in as good a situation as we could have ever been from a draft pick, young player, favorable contract situation in a long time. And especially at a time in the market that's hard to plan, like you're saying, because things will be spontaneous.
So basically, he was kind of saying ribbit. I don't really know exactly what that means, but I think the term ribbit in NBA terms is running it back. Ribbit, I think that's what it means. But he was saying something like that, how they're not going to run it back. And he also said that, they're in a good position right now, but they kind of want to make some moves. And, it makes sense. They didn't have a bad season because they made the playoffs, but they didn't have a, great season. You kind of don't want to be in mediocrity. You either want to, tank and get a superstar or trade for a superstar and compete for a title. You don't want to be in a weird mediocrity state, and that's where the Heat are kind of right now. So, maybe shooting for Kevin Durant could be the move for them. And just off the top of my head, a trade scenario for Kevin Durant going to the Miami Heat would probably revolve around Terry Rozier's bad contract, Duncan Robinson's bad contract. I think Duncan Robinson has another year in his contract. I'm not sure. I know Terry Rozier does for sure. So it would have to be Terry Rozier, maybe Duncan Robinson. I don't really know what the contract situation is for him, but one of those two for sure. Maybe Kelly Ware. I don't know if they're willing to get rid of him, but you would throw him in there. You would throw in a couple guys, first-round picks as well. You know, I don't really know exactly what other young, valuable players the Heat have that they could throw in, but I know Kelly Ware had a great season, so you could throw him in. And if the Heat can somehow keep Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, that would be amazing. Throw in as many first-round picks as you can, and that will get you Kevin Durant at this point. Kevin Durant's going to be 37. I think he is 37 right now, actually. And, you know, he's not getting any younger. So right now is the best you're going to get of him. He's only going to be getting worse from here on out. So the Heat need to know that as well. But, you know, they have the assets for sure to trade for Kevin Durant. And I feel like if they think their team is good enough to get it done next year with a superstar like Kevin Durant at the helm, then, you know, they do the trade. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I think it's an interesting little scenario. I feel like Pat Riley threw some hints out there. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe like I said earlier, and we out.